Right, everyone, this is something different now. Getting back to this is the 9 to 5 grind. So, this is a Porsche Taycan, fully electric, in for a rear door and blend the front driver's door. So, yeah, panel beater got that rear door all sorted out for me, all repaired up, primed, and then I took over, got it all blocked down, got it DA'd, and then, yeah, stripped the driver's door. Well, I stripped the driver door before I did that, and then got handles out, etc., for paint. Again, them handles are a pain to take out. Fully electric, they pop in and out of the door skin, like they fit flush to the door. When you lock the car or when you get in and drive off, after about 30 seconds, they fold in flush with the door skin. They're pretty cool, but yeah, they're hard to take out if you don't know how to take them out. Again, I've never taken door handles out on one of them Taycans before, so that was new to me. That, but yeah, again, all learning, all good stuff. So I'm mixing ground coat and colour here. So this has got a grey shade to go down before I put the top coat down. That's just what the scheme specifies for this colour. Some colours want a grey shade, some don't. But yeah, this one just wanted the grey shade down, 906 I think it was. So yeah, just this I've sped this up because this was to film that in real time again. That'd take quite a long time to do all that. But yeah, just sped it up by like double the speed just for people to see it. But yeah, I'm not gonna. I'll probably slow it down for when I do my van just to put that in real time. Um, but yeah, I didn't see the point for this one just because I wanted to get most of the paint job filmed. But yeah, it's just good to see how paint and stuff is mixed with people that don't watch any content like this and are following what I'm doing with my van. And yeah, that's how colours and stuff are knocked up on a scheme for painting cars, vans, trucks, whatever you're doing, motorbikes. So yeah, gonna go now and degrease. I've had to take the key in with me there because because the handles are out, the car keeps thinking it's being broken into. So every time I'm going near the door handles or I'm blowing air around it or I'm touching it or I'm near it, the alarm just starts screaming on it. So yeah, I pretty much had to paint that with the key in my hand because it just kept firing the alarm off for whatever reason. So yeah, that was pain in the neck that. But yeah, nice car to work on. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's built so well, but taking the front handle out was a pain. Front driver's door handle out, just because of where you've got to get into the rear skin with a long flat bladed screwdriver to prise the handle out from the inside of the door so you can get access from the outside. So yeah, it's just an absolute pain. I wasn't gonna Yeah, I didn't think it would be any point in me doing a video on taking them out because I personally didn't know what I was doing until I got into it. Because I've never stripped one of them before. So yeah, I wasn't going to do a POV of that because it would have been a lot of swearing and head scratching going on. But yeah, we got them both in and out without breaking anything. So yeah, that was nice. And colour was bang on for this one as well, which again, that's always a worry. Colour's always a worry as a painter. It's your main worry. That colour's got to be right. So yeah, the colour for this was bang on. Customer was happy. That's what we want. Main thing. Customer has every right not to be happy, even if the job is right. They just have every right not to be happy at the end of the day. Some people are just like that. No matter how hard you try or no matter how good the job is, they can still turn around and say they're not happy with it, and they have every right to. But yeah, no one wants to hear it because when you've tried your best and done your best and you know it's a good job, and someone that doesn't do it for a job is telling you it's a bad job, yeah, that doesn't go down too well. So yeah, nice lint-free tack cloth there. Again, I just keep them in a glove in my paint locker so I can just grab one handy. Getting it all tacked down now. I've just had to dust some etch primer down the edge of the door there, just a couple of breakthroughs. Just where I've been blocking that repair. Cause yeah, that had two nasty big gouges in the door, and then there was another dent further up in the rear door, so it was quite a bad door, that, to be brutally honest. But yeah, the panel beater got it sorted out anyway, so that was the main thing. Just making sure my masking's stuck down around the wing mirror hole there. Again, keeping that tack cloth clean in that glove. Put it away, get it out of the way. Don't want that on the sat on the clear sheet when I'm painting, blowing into the car or anything. Again, making sure my gun's at 2 bar of pressure. Spray on my base coat at 2 bar. Yeah. Obviously for drop coats or a mist coat, then different pressures, but yeah, when I'm just applying normal coats, then it's just 2 bar every time. So this is my grey shade that I'm putting down now. So yeah, just get that down over all my primer and blend that out. Don't need to be doing the full thing. You would not put your grey shade over everything there. I don't want to. I don't need to, because I'm not taking this colour edge to edge. Even though the colour card was edge to edge, I could have done it. It's just not wise to do that. Um, yeah, it's called blending for a reason. So yeah, you want to blend it. Blend your new colour into your existing colour. So yeah, you don't want to be taking your grey shade any further than you need to. Just get where you're going to be putting your colour covered with that. Yeah, that rear door was pretty much fully black primer, so I had to pretty much cover that entire door. I went a bit further onto the driver's door than I wanted to, but yeah, it's just the way it is. Again, I wasn't too stressed because the colour match was that good. I was like, whatever, I'm not bothered. If the colour match wasn't good, then yeah, I'd have been a bit more careful, but it was just hard because of how low down that car is and the bottom swage on the bottom of the door. It's hard to see how the base was going on. You couldn't really tell because of how low down it was. So yeah, in between every coat, you want to be tacking your jobs. Again, tacking your jobs. You'll see in a minute when I take that tack cloth off, the amount of dirty, dusty, well not dirt, it's just dry base coat. Again, just you don't want to be leaving that on your job before your next coat. Before you put your next coat down, you want to be getting that tacked off. Again, see how dirty that is. That was a nice clean tack cloth before. So again, between every coat, doing that, less chance of dust and just overall cleaner job. It just makes a hell of a difference in your overall finished paint job. It is just one of them things. Always tacking between your coats. So yeah, I'm only going to put 2 coats of this grey shade down because I don't need to put any more down. I probably could have put one down, but I just put 2 down for good measure. It just was like is just easier to less patchiness and stuff. That first coat, just put it on a bit hesitant. Didn't want to absolutely drown it on there. It was quite cold when I was painting that car, so yeah, I just didn't want to chance any reactions or any runs or anything with it because that base coat goes on wet. That is really forgiving, that octral stuff, especially solvent. For solvent base coat, yeah, it's very friendly. I yeah, it's very friendly. Some of the solvent base coats I've used are not forgiving, and that stuff just is very forgiving. So yeah, that's the grey shade down anyway. So now I've just been in, cleaned the gun out, got my top coat in the gun, got the blue in the gun. Forgot what the colour was called for this, but yeah, main thing is it's in the gun. So that's my base coat going. I'm using that for my base and clear coat at the minute. I've not bothered to unbox the new gun I've just bought. We'll get that unboxed soon, and I probably won't bother using that until I paint the van. I was going to actually paint this with it, but I was like saying to myself, "There's no point. I'm just going to get it stuck in and paint the van with it. First big job, my van, brand new gun. Get into it. See what that new Segola's about. See if it's worth the £800 I've spent on it. But yeah, we'll make that call when we do our first job with it. I've already got one of them guns. It's just a non-digital one, so I'm pretty confident it'll be worth the money. But the last one of them I bought was half the price of that. It was under half the price, so it's pretty scary how expensive them guns are getting. Again, that car alarm just having me off because I'm blowing air at that car. It thinks the car's being stolen. Such a pain in the neck. So yeah, every time I've just got to go over and grab the key. I've never had to do that with many other cars, but this thing was just didn't like it. Kept thinking it was being stolen because the handles were taken out. Obviously, all the plugs to the central locking were taken out and stuff. So yeah, it didn't like it. Well, actually, I had to plug them back in for the doors to shut because they're electric on these. Because when you push them in, the window has to go up about 10-15 mil to seal. So yeah, they wanted to be plugged in, otherwise it wasn't liking it. Again, first coat of colour now. I'm gonna check that base coat gun spraying good. Again, 2 bar for this again. Everything 2 bar of pressure, even clear coat 2 bar of pressure. That octral stuff's so thin. Um, it's very thin film build. It's not a thick clear coat, but there's a lot of product there. If that makes sense, you don't break through it easily. Even though it's a thin film build, there's a lot of product there. quite a contradiction, but yeah, it's really good. How hard it goes as well when that's been baked, yeah, it's what you need. Especially if you've got like a little run or a little sagger on a door edge or something, and you just gotta blade it off, polish it up. You know, you want that hard. You don't want to be going to it and you're trying to blade soft lacquer because it's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking when it starts picking back. Yeah, there's nothing worse. So yeah, that alarm going off again, that's just doing my head in every time. Base that door up, it's just going off. Every time I'm blowing air around the handles, it's just firing the alarm off. So yeah, that first coat, you can just see first coat, you can see how like it looks very patchy, very light. Obviously, it looks horrendous. First coat of base never looks nice. Again, you get to your second coat, it starts to look, it starts to take shape, and then third coat we're away, and then look at just doing a bit of a mist coat from my blend just to make sure it looks how I want it to. Again, this colour was edge to edge, but I just wanted to make sure I was happy with blends and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll see that shortly when we get to that stage of painting it. Yeah, and wrap that key up in a panel wipe cloth. Just didn't want that getting covered in any paint or anything. I had it obviously in my hand to keep unlocking the key fob to turn the alarm off. But yeah, just didn't want to get that covered in paint, so or drop it for that matter. Again, always find a clean part of your tack rag to wipe the car down with. Making sure your base coat's dry, because I've had many a times where you think your base coat's dry, you go to tack it and it just sticks, and as you're wiping it, it just sticks solid, and you're just like, no, it's heartbreaking that when that happens. Yeah, you just got to stop what you're doing and start wet flatten base coat down. It's not amusing. Yeah, well, I'm a big believer in blowing your base coat dry. You know, just make sure. And not only that, less chance of dirt landing in it, any dust nibs landing in it either. The quicker the base coat dries, within reason, the less chance of any crap landing in it. So yeah, I'm always stood there blowing base coat dry. Again, if you put a heavy coat down as well, it just gives you that less chance of any reactions happening. If you can get it dry quick, and you've been laying heavy amounts of solvent down, then you want to get it dry with quite quickly. Otherwise, you start seeing reactions happening. Again, I'm two turns out on this. This is a GTI Pro Light, the Velvis gun. 2 turns out, 2 bar, full fan. Again, that alarm's going off. That's doing my head in. It's probably doing everyone else's head in. But yeah, that car wasn't liking me painting the side of it. So yeah, again, that's me now. Crank the pressure up on the air reg and then just start blowing that base coat dry. Hopefully nothing's landing in it, no dust nibs, anything like that. Again, you want to get it dry. The quicker you get it dry, the quicker you can put your next coat on as well. So it's the quicker you get the job done too. So I'll just stand there blowing it. Some boys would happily walk off, but I just think you might as well stand there blowing it. Get it dry, get your next coat on, get it tacked obviously as well. Get the tack rag over it. Get any overspray off. Get any dust off. Keep it clean. Keep it clean for your next coat. And then obviously before we lacquer, then yeah, we'll tack it again before we lacquer, and we'll tack the sheeting as well. We'll go around that clear sheeting and get any of that blue overspray off, because again, that's quite dusty and dirty, so you don't want that landing back in your job when you're going in for clear coat. Clear coat, you can't, once you put a coat of clear on, you're not putting a tack rag near it. You're just not, for people that don't know why, because lacquer's a 2K product, it would be sticky. You wouldn't put a tack rag anywhere near it. So that's the reasons for that. Just checking how much base I've got there. I was like, I don't want to have to mix any more up. I knew I would mixed enough because I only had 2 doors to do, and I'm pretty good, pretty bang on with my measurements and my weights, what I need for jobs now. The panel beater come out to me the other day. He's like, "How much primer do you think I need for that job?" And I was like, "I reckon about 0.6," and he was saying about 0.5. And he come out to me, and I'm pretty sure I was masking this Porsche, and he showed me what was left in the gun, and there was like 20 mil of primer left in the gun, and I was like, "Yeah, man," I was like, "I'm doing this every day." Like, you get good with knowing what's what and minimal waste. You don't want to be throwing liters or half liters or quarter of a liters of product away because it's just too expensive. So you've got to be good with your measurements. You don't want to be over mixing. You know, it's easy to go in and just mix a bit more base up. Yeah, it's a bit more time, but you don't want to be having loads of base coat left over, and then you don't see another one of them cars for 2 years, and then that paint's wasted. Then you know it's not cheap. So yeah, third and final coat of base now. Get this on, and then we'll just check if we need to put a mist coat or a drop coat down the blend. Getting that on nice and wet on the bottom of that door, because it's hard to see down there, so that's why I've got the daylight in my hand now, just for that third coat. Just want to make sure that base is going on how I want it, because this is the last coat of colour I'm putting on this car. So yeah, I just need to make sure that it's going on exactly how I want it, making sure I'm covered as well. You should be for your third coat. This stuff does say on the TDS 2 to 3 coats you should be covered, so if you're not covered in 2 to 3 coats, there's a problem in your application. You need to be putting that on a lot heavier if you're not covered in 2 to 3 coats. Um, so yeah, just to put that into context for people that don't know, that's why. So yeah, you can see obviously I don't want to go up to the edge of the door where the door meets the wing there with colour, because obviously if the colour isn't good then you're going to see that, but I know this colour's edge to edge, so that's me just putting a mist coat on there now. Just pulling back from the panel, drop the pressure down to about 1.8 bar, and then you can just see there's barely anything on there because there's not much colour on the edge of my masking, but it just helps blend the new colour into the old colour, so you don't see the freshness down the doors. So yeah, I've not put like a full coat on there, but it's just like a light dusting of the metallic. Again, just helps blend it in nice. Again, you don't want to see big fresh edges of where I've put fresh colour and that's got old colour. Yeah, and that alarm's kicking off again because I'm putting paint on it, paint on the car. So, yeah, I've just got the key in my hand at that point because it's doing my head in. I'm not far away now. Getting lacquer on soon and get it clear coated. So yeah, just checking my blend, checking sure that's all right, drying it off, blowing it down, making sure no dust, no dirt's landing in that there. Again, I'm happy with that colour. That colour was so good. When I did the spray out card, I was so happy with how good the colour match was. Um, it's always a stress that when you're mixing colours and you go in and paint it, you go in, you start basing it up, and it looks totally different. It looks wrong, and you're just like, oh, what am I gonna do? And you've just kind of got to commit because you're halfway through painting it, even though it looks wrong. You get it all demasked, you get it outside in the sun, and it looks mint, and you just like think to yourself, that looked awful in the booth. It just doesn't make sense sometimes how bad a job can look in a spray booth, and then you get it outside in the sun, and it looks bang on, and you're just thinking, right, I need to trust that a job needs to kind of look wrong to look right. It is a weird one. Obviously, if it looks horrendous, then you know you want to question that. But if it looks, you should know if it doesn't look patchy or not as a painter. If it looks patchy as hell, then obviously you got to trust that it. You know, you want to sort that out. A few more drop coats, a few more normal coats of paint, just to get that sorted. But yeah, sometimes it'll look patchy and you'll lacquer it and you'll think, oh, that's gonna look horrendous. I'm gonna end up painting that again. You end up lacquering it. You take it outside, and you're wondering what you're stressing about because it looks absolutely perfect, but inside it can look horrendous. It just looks awful. Yeah, that's the joys of working in like a dark room with a load of bright lights, because they are dark rooms. As much light as they have, they're very dark. So yeah, this will be my final tack of the doors now. Final run over that tack rag just to get any dirt or any dust off before I go put my first coat of clear down. Again, this is just 2 coats of clear over this. That's all it needs. 2 coats, 2 wet coats of this Octral C600. Pretty sure it was a slow hardener H61. I don't think there was enough H60 in, to be fair. I was wanting H60 because it was only 2 doors, but there was definitely not enough in the tin. Yeah, there's me dropping the key after saying about worrying about dropping it. Yeah, you can see how I'm tacking the clear sheet in there. Look how much dirt and blue like paint dust is coming off. You know, if I go and lacquer without tacking that, that's all gonna land in the doors. You can see how dirty that is. That is the importance of tacking all your jobs. But again, it's easy to just say, "Oh, stuff it. I'm not gonna do that because I can't be bothered today, or I'm not feeling it." You know, it's easy to say that, but that's the difference between doing it and not doing it. You know, you see how much cleaner your jobs turn out, and they do turn out mint for when you do it. So yeah, I would recommend always tacking in between coats of base. You know, it's always worthwhile doing tacking, running the tack cloth over your sheeting, your brown paper, whatever it is. But yeah, it's just again, always buy good quality tack cloths. That's one thing I always recommend. You know, you always want them to be good, making sure they're taking any contaminants away, and checking sure that gun is spraying nice. Again, same gun, different air cap on it. Got a I think it's a T10. It's a high solids air cap anyway. Again, I'm not too good with the valves, so I don't really pay attention to them. I wouldn't buy another one of their guns. The main reason for that is I'm sick of replacing seals in them. The good thing about them new Segolas is they're just a sealless gun. There's no seals in them. They're all metal to metal technology, so you know you don't have to worry about that thing. You can leave that thing in paint finish for weeks on end, and that thing's good to go. The last gun I bought, that was a Segola, and I bought that 5 years ago, and that thing is still solid now. But that's more of a commercial gun for painting more heavy commercial paints and thicker paints. You know, it's not a gun I would do this car with. It's not that type of gun. It's for more thicker, denser paints, if that makes sense to people. The right term would be viscosity. You know, the thinness or thickness of your paint. So yeah, we did buy a new Segola for doing this. So yeah, we're gonna get that on show soon. That's just sat in the locker at work at the minute. So yeah, we'll get that out. Yeah, we're not like I did say before. Actually, yeah, we're not actually gonna base anything up with that until we do the van. So yeah, we're just gonna have to push on and get this van done, so we can break that out and do some big paint jobs. Because yeah, now I'm looking forward to painting. It's gonna be sick. But yeah, back to this Porsche. This is a sick thing to paint. I love painting cars. I do love painting cars, I must admit. Um, Especially nice ones like this. You know, they're just cool. Cool to see how they're built, and it's just cool to work on them. You know, I have no interest in cars, but I like working on them. Just something different. Like, it's cool to see how all the paint and stuff is done like that, and that is really interesting as well. You know how you make colours up and stuff, and that is really interesting. What pigments go into them, and you know, seeing all your tinters and then making certain colours up from it, it is really interesting. It is cool. Um, so yeah, this is the last coat of clear now. This is make or break. This is the last coat of clear coat I'll put on this. So yeah, again, no runs, no no mess ups, nothing stupid. Yeah, and just touching my mask and making sure that clear coat's ready to go. Um, so yeah, this is really important how I get this on now, because yeah, this is going to be the final process of painting this thing. Again, all about taking your time, but taking your time within reason. You know, you want to be quick with getting it on, because the quicker you get it on, the nicer it's going to be. But making sure that you can see that all your overlaps and stuff. So that's why I've got the daylight with me for this. I have got one of them guns that clip on the Segola, the lights that clip on the spray guns for my Segola. So yeah, that is an exclusive product Segola actually made for Segola, so it doesn't fit the Developers. So because I've gotten that used to painting with a spray gun like now, I couldn't go back to painting without one. So yeah, that's why I just grabbed the daylight. Grab the daylights. You can see where I'm going with my clear coat and stuff. Again, that daylight, what that does, that just replicates the sunlight. So that replicates daylight. So you can take that in and you can check if you're coloured with your base coat or your colours and stuff. You know, you can check your coverage over your primer. So that's what that's for. It's a great bit of kit. Really does help. Um, so yeah, make or break now. Last coat of clear. Start at the bottom of the doors and work my way up. Again, not belting it on too heavy, but getting a nice good coat on there. Don't want no big saggers where the doors meet, because that's where you usually get them. You get big runs down where your driver's door meets your rear door there. That's usually where you get them, right down them door edges. Painters know what I'm on about. It's always down there, or around door handles. You always get them hanging out of there. Big runs. Yeah, not on this one. This one was good. We got this clear coat down real nice. A few dust nibs here and there, but nothing we're not used to. Got them sorted out, polished out, wet flatted out. And yeah, customer was happy with this one anyway. And that's the main thing. She was happy. She didn't have to buy a new door. We repaired the door. Again, that clear coat, that just lays so nice. Again, just make sure the bottom of that door edge was nice and wet and covered with clear. So that's what the daylight's for. I can check how good my lacquer coverage is, check how much of a good coat I've got put on there, making sure there's no dry edges. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one, so that turned out nice. So yeah, just another one, another standard day, another paint job, another car. But yeah, the start of a lot of POV in this sort of stuff. So yeah, I started to demask it and then I was like, oh, I need to go grab the GoPro. So yeah, I just thought I'd grab the GoPro while I start pulling all the sheeting off. Yeah, put it on bake, went and had my dinner, come back after dinner, started demasking it, next job in then. So yeah, you can just see the slight bit of blue down that yellow mask, and that's just where I've flicked that mist coat of base just to try and blend the old colour into the new colour. Yeah, no, I was so happy with that. That colour match turned out mint, and that's really important. That's the most important thing. Is colour match. To me, anyway, as a painter, colour match is where that's where the book stops. So yeah, I got that all built up, all the glass back in, handles back in, take it down the lane now, get some photos, get some videos, get it washed. Yeah, this is her. So yeah, you can see what I mean about how the door handles fit flush into the door, and then when you hit the unlock button, so I'm pretty sure I hit the unlock button in a minute, and then the door handles pop out from the insides of the doors. So do the wing mirrors. It is pretty cool, to be honest. Yeah, some finish on that. It's nice. That I'm happy with that. Matches bang onto the wing, bang onto the quarter panel. Even though I've gone bang on with my paint to the rear door, it matches mint. So yeah, no, I'm happy with that. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching this one. Again, I'll get some more car stuff put up soon. So yeah, keep following. Thank you very much.